Hello, welcome to Creatives Panoply on Sabi Writers TV. My name is Folakemi. On this program today, we'll be discussing the topic staying original as a writer. Yes, so as a writer, while you want your voice to be heard, you want to also strike a balance between what you feel sounds good, what your audience feels sounds good, and what your client feels sounds good, because you don't want to forget that part too. Yes, that's if it comes to third-party writing though. So this and so many other questions are what we'll be addressing today. As you know, I'm not the only one here. I have a guest on the show. So if you want to find out who that person is, just stay tuned and we'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back. Thank you for staying tuned to Sabi Writers TV. So before the break, I told you I had with me a guest on the show. Yes, he's not just my colleague. He is the project experience lead of Sabi Writers. His name is John Chidioke. You're welcome, John.
Thank you.
So before you introduce yourself to us, tell me the meaning of the name Chidioke. Yes, let me learn what you would like.
All right. Well, before I tell you the meaning of Chidioke, probably I'll give you a little hint how the name came about.
Okay, history.
Okay, so I was given one local name, one name like that by my father, my native name.
Okay.
I didn't like it when I got to know myself when I grew up, so I had to change the name.
Oh.
Yes, I gave myself Chidioke.
So you named
as my
yourself.
Igbo name.
Oh, wow.
Now, when I told my mom about that, and I did my affidavit, guess what she said? She said that was actually the name she had in mind to give me. I was like, wow.
Oh, interesting. That's a perfect
So that confirms the name. So it means Chidioke. God has my share.
God has my share.
Exactly.
My share of what, if I may ask?
Whatever blessing, whatever thing that is I'm looking out in life,
okay.
It's in the hands of God. And certainly God will release when it's time.
Exactly. Thank you for that. So let's get back to the topic for discussion. But let me ask this first. Why do you write?
Why do I write? Writing to me is a world of its own. We have a lot that go on in our mind every day, right?
Okay.
So bringing that word to reality is what writing does for me. Okay. So it's like a platform. It gives me the roots to pour the word in my mind into paper.
So you've been writing for how many years now?
I've been writing for well over 13, 15 years.
Wow, 13. I'm sure some people were not even born there. 13, 15 years. So would you say you enjoy picking up writing as a profession or as a career? Let me put it that way. You know, some people, me for instance, when I tell someone what do you do for a living? I'm a writer, yes. And they're like you write, all you do is just write. I'm like, yes, I do a 9-to-5 job and that's writing mainly. So do you enjoy it, taking up that part?
I don't just tell people I'm a writer. I tell them I am a professional writer.
Professional.
Exactly. You know, we need to go beyond seeing writing as just a hobby and see it as a life of its own.
True.
So certainly, I enjoy writing.
Okay, so what you're saying, professional writing. So there's writing, there's professional writing.
Well, when I say professional writer, that's is a way of disabusing the mind of people from just a side gig. You know, that kind of mindset. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So sometimes when I don't say professional writer, I say I'm an executive writer. So that's, you know, the way you introduce yourself and the way you present yourself is how people will take you.
Oh, that's true.
So I can't just flippantly say I'm a writer and just present it to you that way. Of course, you won't take me serious.
Okay. So speaking of the topic for discussion today, maintaining your voice as a writer and also trying to balance writing for yourself. So what would you actually say? Okay, let me come back to it. While we were growing up, there's this thing of be yourself. Don't let people take you down. Let your voice be heard. So what would you say is that, or how would you define that in the writing profession? Making your voice heard as a writer in your writing.
Okay. Now, I have to separate two things here, okay? Writing for myself and writing for my clients.
Okay.
So when I'm writing for myself, that's where I lay more emphasis on my voice being heard. And when we talk about my voice being heard, we're talking about the message that I have within, that I need my audience to receive. Okay. You understand? So that's where we lay emphasis on my voice being heard.
Okay, so if you're talking about you're talking about your voice being heard, that's just the message, then where would the writing style of the writer come in? Because I believe that accumulates the voice in itself.
Certainly.
So where does the writing style come?
That's where the personality of John comes to play.
Okay.
In writing, yes.
So is that just the message now?
No. Okay, let me give it to you this way. You want to get to a destination.
Okay.
Right? And you need a vehicle that will take you there.
Okay.
Right? So the people you have in the vehicle, let's take that as a message. And the vehicle itself is the skill, the writing style of the writer.
Okay.
So that's where your voice comes in.
Okay.
So the courage you have that transports the message to the audience in a way that the message will be decoded. That's the voice.
Okay. What does it mean to be yourself as a writer?
To be myself.
Yes.
As a writer.
Yes.
Now, that simply means maintaining my style.
Okay.
Every writer has his or her own style.
Okay.
The way you write, the way you maneuver to explore your gifts as a writer. So maintaining me, my personality,
okay,
my style is how I am myself when I'm writing.
Okay, so where does the place of the client come in, especially when it comes to third-party writing? So if you're saying your style, what if your style is not what your client wants? Because sometimes you feel like the work you've written, like, oh yeah, this article, this write-up is blast, like it's so nice. But the client gets it and is like, no, this is not what I want. So where do you strike that balance?
Beautiful. Now, there's a difference between writing for myself and writing for my client.
Okay.
Good. So when I'm writing for myself, I explore the totality of my style, the totality of my personality,
okay,
to ensure that my message is well decoded by the audience. Now, writing for my clients is a different ball game entirely.
Okay.
This time around, I need to understand my clients.
Okay.
I'll give you an instance. Actors. I liken writing to acting.
Okay.
So you see actors before they become a character, they wear the personality of that character. They are told every nitty-gritties about the personality and behavior of that very character.
Okay.
And so they wear it. I'll give you an example of one of the Nollywood actors, Patience Ozokwo. Right? You know
Mama
her.
G.
Exactly, Mama G. So each time you see Mama G, what comes to your mind? You think of that woman that will easily poison her husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
The wicked mother-in-law.
You think about the wicked mother-in-law, right? Now that's because she has won that character.
Okay.
But in reality, she's not like that.
Okay.
So when it comes to the set, that's Mama G. Outside the set, she's a whole different person entirely. Okay. So that's what it is in writing. So when it comes to writing for my client, I find out who my client is, how my client speaks, how my client spins words, right? I also look out for some innuendos that my client uses to make some expressions. These are the nitty-gritties that will inform the style that is suitable, that aligns, that is in agreement with this client.
Okay.
And so when I write that way, the client will see him or herself in what I have written. Remember, I'm not writing for myself at that point.
Let's take a look at the broader perspective now. So now we've talked about for the client, writing for yourself. Then where does your audience come
Beautiful.
Because sometimes what your client might want might not be what the audience, he or she, is trying to say.
Beautiful.
Wants. So how do you strike a balance? Especially when the client is hell bent on, this is how I want my writing to be, this is how I want it to sound like. How do you strike a balance as a writer? A professional
Beautiful.
one at that.
Now, these are factors, right? So
Okay.
you have the client,
Okay.
you have the writer where I come in,
Okay.
and then you have the audience. Now, the most important thing, which is the first thing I try to find out and understand from my client, is the message.
Okay. So the message comes first.
The message comes first.
Okay.
Because when I don't understand the message, then I cannot think of a better way that the audience will decode it.
Okay.
Do you understand? So the message is the most important thing. Fine. After understanding what the message is, I now go on the journey to understand who my client is.
Oh.
The personality of my client, so as to know the style that suits. Do you understand? Okay. So with that, I am able to code this message. Also paying attention to my audience.
So wait, with that now, your audience is like the last on the chain.
Not the last on the chain. After the understanding the message,
okay,
I need to know who the audience. These are the questions we ask the client. So who are you writing for? Who is your audience?
Okay.
Good. So when I understand the message, I understand the audience. So I know how the audience can receive it. I know what words will be suitable for the audience, right? Am I using elevated language, or am I using everyday language? Okay. What figures of speech, what expression can I use? Can I be more metaphorical? All these questions I will ask myself after understanding the audience. Now I will come back to the client. So understand the personality of the client. Now with the personality of the client, I will know the style that will be suitable to code this message for the audience to decode.
Okay, you're missing out something.
There will also be a point where the client will make some, we insist on some things.
Okay.
Now, that is where my professionalism comes to play.
Okay.
So that is where I will now do what? Give the counsel, a professional counsel to my client, that based on the audience you have, if you come this way, your message will be lost. The most important thing here is for the message to be understood.
Okay.
And for the expected action to be taken by the reader. Is that not so?
Okay.
So that's just it.
Okay, so now the clear line is you need to tell your client your audience should be before your personality.
No, the client will tell me who his or her audience are.
Okay, so
yes.
you advise
when I know the
client,
audience,
you
exactly.
advise your client to pick a suitable style that would fit the audience he or she is serving, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so I was about to ask that question, but I think you touched a little on it. You've lost that part of me as a writer.
Okay.
Because the truth is, no matter how hard I try to take on the client's personality and understand, there will still be a part of me that is still me, even when I write. So how do I draw a clear line?
All right. I'll tell you a story very, very briefly, and then to elaborate that. One of the jobs I took on as a writer in Sabi Writers, before I actually became the project experience lead, I had this client I was working for, and when I wrote the first chapter of that very book, I got the feedback. And the feedback was my personality was overshadowing on the work. I'm someone who is resolute when it comes to my stance, right? And that was not the style of the client.
Okay.
And that will not in any way alter the message for the audience.
Okay.
So I received that very feedback in good faith.
Okay.
Yes, I received in good faith. Because you cannot grow without feedback.
Feedback, through, very important.
So I went back to do my homework, right? I went deep to find out some details about the client. As per personality. Went on the social media handle to get some information to see how this client does this. Do you understand? So that helped me to overcome that very part. Now, you are talking about not losing myself.
Yes.
There's a strategy that I deploy, which I believe every other writer should do.
Yeah, I think
when it comes to writing for my clients, I am writing for my client.
Okay.
This is not about me. It's about my client. It's about the message. It's about the audience.
So you're totally out of the
Exactly. However, how do I stay relevant? How do I keep myself still in the game?
Yes.
Good. I find time to write for myself. I have my own audience as a writer.
Okay.
What's the essence of having social media handles and we make posts? Those are avenues that we use to explore ourselves and still maintain ourselves as writers.
Okay.
And you have writers that are also writing their own works. So in that scenario, my style, John as a person, is still preserved.
Okay.
And I'm not also my mind is not also shielded away from learning. No, I believe in open-mindedness.
Okay.
So I'm also open to learning new ways of writing, new writing styles, which I can adopt and at the same time not lose myself. Rather, it will be an enhancement to my own style.
Okay, when you talk about adopting writing style, so that's, even if you want to learn from others, don't copy them and lose yourself in the process.
That is exactly what it is.
Many writers do that. Okay, yes, I want to write like Chimamanda, and you try to imitate her style, and you lose yourself without even defining your own voice in your writing, which I feel is very, very, very wrong.
I listen to Chimamanda a lot. I read her works, right? Okay. Now, can I tell you something? One of the writers that she loves a lot.
Okay.
Is Chinua Achebe.
Oh.
You know that. And if you check their writing style, you can pick some similarities. Which I will give you. Chinua Achebe uses everyday language. Right?
Basically.
However, while he tries to make it simple, he doesn't try to make it simpler. That's Chinua Achebe. I also see that in Chimamanda. However, Chimamanda's personality and her style is still preserved.
Yes.
Do you get it?
Yes.
So while I learn new styles, I don't also lose myself totally. Rather, the new style will be an enhancement for my own style.
Okay, so I think what I would actually take home from this conversation is, one, writing for yourself is different from writing for your client.
Certainly.
So there is a third party kind of writing which your personality should not even come into play. So what should replace you as a writer should be your client. So what should be your priority is what your client wants and what your client's audience deserves.
Exactly. You know, I see people, it's normal for writers to have so much emotion poured into their writing. Now, when you give them feedback, you see them react. You need to have that clear-cut understanding from the threshold that this is not me. This is not my work. I am writing for my client.
Yeah.
And so I have to be my client. Just like you have the actors become a character, I am becoming my client.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
In order for the audience to receive the message. And when I'm done with that, I remove the what's it called, the personality, the style. I drop it. That's not me. I go about my own personal life. You get it?
Okay.
So just like I mentioned Patience Osoko. Yeah. She puts some stuff in someone's food in movies and the person dies. She doesn't do that in real life.
Definitely.
Exactly. So that's the way it is.
Okay, so let's touch a little bit on feedback, because I know you were mentioning it constantly.
Yeah.
Getting feedback, right? Like that is one of the most important things we need to learn, taking constructive criticism for our work. Because the attachment we get to, okay, because I wrote this thing, the number of hours I put, the number of words, the energy, the research, the level of research that went into this work. And sometimes when the feedback comes and it hits you like, what would I do? Sometimes we don't listen. We only hear what the person is saying. But there's this block we have, and we don't want to listen to what the person is saying and take back the feedback and use it in our writing, in our work. So what would you say about feedback?
Thank you very much. When you talk about feedback, I'll tell you that we have, there are two factors at play here, right? So you have people who are tilted towards wanting to be the best.
Okay.
Yes. Anyone who is striving to be the best will always have their pride punctured when you give them feedback, especially when the feedback is negative. Negative in quotes, because no feedback is negative. It always comes to make you better. So I tell my writers as the project experience lead, I tell my writers, do not strive to be the best. Rather, strive to gain mastery. Yeah.
Okay.
When you strive to be the best, you produce your best work, right? You've gone to the height, so you relax.
Nothing comes
exactly.
After the best. Nothing comes.
And that's why you have some celebrities just get to a height and the next thing they nosedive. But when you are after gaining mastery, you are quick to listen to feedback. You are quick to interrogate it, right? We understand the fact that some feedback will come based on different intentions. But you as a person, how you interact with your feedback determines your next level of growth. So you interact with your feedback, interrogate it, draw out the lessons, get better. Always keep getting better. At every milestone, seek to get better. So when you are looking out for gaining mastery, feedback will be your best friend.
Okay, I think I take that as a quote. That's an original. Don't strive to be the best. Strive to gain mastery as a writer. So one last word from everything we've said. What would be your parting shot to writers out there?
One thing I'll tell you as a writer, know the difference when you're writing for yourself and when you're writing for your clients. Do not get bitter when your client gives a feedback. That's your client's work. But when it comes to your own work, express yourself. But do not forget that in expressing yourself, the most important person that you look out for is the audience, because you want your message to be received. And finally, just like you said, never seek to be the best, but seek to gain mastery. Thank you so much for that. Lastly, before we go, there's a question I want you to answer. Okay.
And thankfully, you said you love Chimamanda. Like you listen to her virtually every day. So you have to answer this question in 10 seconds. You have just 10 seconds to answer.
Okay.
So the question is, mention 5 books written by Chimamanda Adichie.
Okay.
You can start now.
Okay. Notes on Grief.
Okay, 1.
Yeah. Purple Hibiscus.
2.
Half of a Yellow Sun.
3.
We All Should Be Feminists.
4.
And Americana.
Oh, 5.
Yes.
Well, I think you were a little bit above 10 seconds.
Really?
You were a little bit above 10 seconds.
It's
so
all
it
right.
would score you, probably score you a 9 and take the remaining 1.
It's all right. Remember, it's not to be perfect. Gain mastery.
Gain mastery, so you're gaining mastery.
Exactly. Not seeking to be the best. Gain mastery.
Oh, not if you guys didn't take anything from this video today, like take this original quote by John. It says, don't strive to be the best, strive to gain mastery. That's what you should be doing, gaining mastery in your field. And this is not just for writers alone.
Yeah.
As a professional, in everything you do, don't strive to be the best, because there is nothing after the best. The best is the best. After the best, what comes next? So you want to strive to gain mastery in all you do. So that's the end of today's program, guys. It's a wrap for today. And if you've not subscribed to our channel, please don't forget to do that. And the notification icon is just there. Just hit the bell button to get notifications as we upload more content for you. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's program. Till next time I come your way, I'm Paula Kemi. Bye.
Bye.